April 16th this year, I would be elected for 22 straight years in capacity in Atlantic City, in different capacities. From the school board to city council, now as mayor, uninterrupted. And we got a plan to continue that for at least another 4 more years. So I would like to thank the people, and I'm going to ask you to stand. If you've been with me in this journey from day one, from school board on and now, it hasn't always been easy. We had a lot of trials and tribulations. So some people said that they was on the Titanic one time, and now we're on a love boat. So would you please stand with me through this journey? Please. Boy Foster said he was there when I was in court. And yes, he was the only person at the Field of Dreams, if y'all know what I'm talking about. But good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. And it's a great day here in the city of Atlantic City. Can we say great day? Great day. Yes, great day. I'm Mayor Marty Small Sr. I'm mayor of the great city of Atlantic City. And I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming out and supporting this re-election campaign, because on June 10th, we're going to dream big and we're going to vote small. Can we say dream big? Dream big. Can we say vote small? Vote small. Listen, it's simple. I'm going to tell you the day that I became mayor of the great city of Atlantic City. Some people from North Jersey threw me a fundraiser at Kelsey's. It was all unrelated. An unfortunate situation happened with the previous mayor, and I was in the passenger seat. My wife was driving, and I got an email alert. And the email alert was a resignation letter. And according to the statutes in New Jersey, as soon as that happened, because of an act of law, I become mayor. So I looked at the email, and I turned around to her, and I got to curb my language. You can feel it back. I said, oh, snap. I'm the mayor now. And we had to all, process that and, being official, and then we had to have a 12 noon ceremony the next day. But that night, in our bedroom, we had a conversation. And she said that I can hear the naysayers now to say, this man has wanted to be mayor forever. What is he going to do now? And I looked over and I said to her, I'm not going to give him a chance. And because we know how forgetful people are. So I said, I'm going to be an in-your-face mayor. You're going to know what I'm doing on socials. You don't have to question. And I thank God that that has went away. A lot of people used to say a lot of things, but even my worst enemy can't say that I'm not doing nothing. And that's what we did each and every day. That's how we govern. That's how we treat our employees. That's how we treat the business community. We're always accessible and reachable. And I came in, and I remember my son had a game in Buena. And I remember at halftime, I was on the other field talking to, at the time, who was over Atlantic City, Jim Johnson. And I said, wait till you see this plan, because again, we're not going to give people the opportunity to say, oh, he ain't doing nothing. He's just like everybody else. And by showing people all the time, in the immortal words of Kendrick Lamar, sometimes you got to pop out and show, people. So when I became mayor, it's simple. I said, first and foremost, we have to take care of the taxpayers, because they've suffered far too long. And what has happened since Mayor Small has been mayor, we've been upgraded by Wall Street, Moody's and Standard & Poor's, giving positive outlooks and investment upgrades. As a matter of fact, the great city of Atlantic City, by both Moody's and Standard & Poor's, we are one tier, which I'm sure we will get this year, away from investment grade. Why is that important? state takeover and who was there. We were on the front line. We were against the state takeover because the law is ugly. But because we know and believe that relationships matter, we work with the Chris Christie administration, and we've been happy under the last, going on 8 years, of Governor Phil Murphy's administration, who says simply, I will not Bigfoot Atlantic City. We work very closely with the DCA, to make things happen here in the great city of Atlantic City. When you talk about the tax decrease, also talk about thinking outside of the box. When we got money for COVID-19 and the American Rescue Plan, the very first thing that I did when we had our meetings, I said, I want to give back to the taxpayers. No mayor has ever done that. And I haven't seen any mayor in the region utilize those resources. It was simple. Fill out a form, the city will send you $500. And much to my surprise, a lot of people didn't take advantage of it, but we put the effort out there. When we talk about finances here in the great city of Atlantic City, the best is yet to come. And you got to understand where we've been, where we at now, and where we're going. I remember that the finances were so bad that employees used to run to the bank to cash their checks. I remember that the finances were so bad that it was simple. Employees were asked to get paid once a month. I'm going to say that again. Employees were asked to get paid once a month. So we changed the culture. We changed the culture in the solicitor's office, where if you sued Atlantic City, it was an open paycheck. You would win. We got aggressive in our litigation, and I'm not going to give up too much of my state of the city, but you will hear Thursday the downward trend of the money that was spent. Just because it's budgeted doesn't mean that you spend it. And I always said that right after the taxpayers, that our youth and seniors are our two most precious resources. And I told my CFO, the BA, and everyone who would listen, there are a lot of things that will go before any programs with youth or seniors. And financially, we specialize in spending other people's money. We got a great partnership with CRDA, who funds all of our youth and senior programs. We got grants from the state of New Jersey to fund our anti-violence and reentry program. We got grants more than any administration, state and federal, through my time as mayor here in the great city of Atlantic City. So when you hear these testimonials that other administrations didn't prioritize seniors, they sent the services to the county, and that's all we were offering was transportation services. Other administrations said we're going to fire 52 full-time rec workers to balance the budget. We made that a priority, and it took hard work. It took 2 years. I don't give up. It took 2 years. Chief of Staff Corsi will tell you, walking this plane into the governor's office. It took 2 years to put this together. And we are continuously doing great things for the youth and the seniors. And I promise my commitment, we're going to do more of this in 4 years. When you talk about vision, when you talk about understanding and knowing your community, everybody doesn't have it like that. And that's okay. And that's what government is here to do, to assist in a time of need. Government don't raise your kids. We help. And this administration has done it in a big way. So I see Charlie Goodman sitting there. When we talk about funding, scholarships for the college tour for the next 4 years, already paid for, to send our kids on these college tours, to know that there are things beyond the great city of Atlantic City. When we invest $3 million into scholarships for Atlantic City children, students. Not only that, this year we included masters and doctorates because it's important that we invest in that human capital here in the great city of Atlantic City, because it wasn't a priority before. So we're going to continue to make sure that those programs go on and on. And when you talk about human capital, you heard the city employees. They went years with 0% raises, 0, and pay cuts. And what happened? I delayed a press conference for 45 minutes because I wasn't satisfied with the year 2 number of the 4-year contract. So they got 4,500 one year, 3,000 the next year, 4,500 this year, and they had 2% this year. That has never happened. And not only that, a leader is going to pull its people up. I'm telling you, we got so many qualified directors and assistant directors, and they're all people that you know, that you can see, and that you can touch. And let's talk about opportunity. People don't understand that Atlantic City is an urban community. I'm going to say that again. Atlantic City is an urban community. Some of the things that we have to do in this community wouldn't be thought of in other communities because you don't understand. So that's why when I say that our people need a second, third, and sometimes fourth chance at life, the great city of Atlantic City is here to provide that opportunity. And everyone can't work for government. I know that we made working for the government cool, but everyone can't work for the government, so what do? We have a full-time job coordinator in City Hall whose job is to get people jobs outside of the city. But when it comes to government, we are going to give people a chance. Not only are we raising salaries, not only are we promoting, and it's all within the framework of a reduced budget for the last 5 years. And I'm telling you, we have another tax decrease this year, 6 years in a row under the small administration.
Say something to Thursday.
But when we talk, we can't be hypocritical. I can't look these kids and other kids in the eye and say, hey, we're giving you this scholarship. We want you to come home. And we want you to come back and give back to the community. And there's nothing to give back to. I was one of those kids that had an opportunity like that. I was politically connected, rest his soul. The late, great 3-term Atlantic City Mayor, State Assemblyman, and State Senator Jim Whalen gave me a job when I came home. It was $19,500, but it was a job. It was my start. So we're going to always make sure that the opportunities are there for you. There's no need to say go away to college and there's nothing here. So that's what we do. We have jobs for kids that graduate college. We put our money where our mouth is. And they come home and they make good money. And they are part of what we do each and every day here in the great city of Atlantic City. And under my watch, that is definitely going to continue. When you talk about clean and safe streets, let me just refresh your memory. When I decided to establish the anti-violence program and make it a part of the city and skillfully not attach any salaries to grants, we attach programs and services to grants because we want these people to have skin in the game. And I remember that November 2020 press conference when I announced One Neighborhood Evolution, our anti-violence program. I said, let's not be naive. We're not going to stop crime here in the great city of Atlantic City. But in my humble opinion, that if we get crime down in Back Maryland and Stanley Holmes Village with the people who used to tear up Back Maryland and Stanley Holmes Village, this is a team that is fully rehabilitated and committed to the city. Crime will go down here in the great city of Atlantic City, and there's been a steady decrease in crime. Again, working with our law enforcement officials, the police department, giving them the necessary tools to succeed, you're going to see much more improved initiatives when we announce it at the State of the City address. But that's my commitment to the people of Atlantic City. When you want to say clean, I don't care what people say. We got the best public works department around. Do you see the job that they did in the last snowstorm? Do you see how the improvement with the cleanliness of the city? Now, each and every one of us can walk outside right now and stop and say, this is dirty, this is dirty. We're talking big picture. We are putting our money where our mouth is. We're putting our resources, the amount of grants. The state gave us a grant to allow us to hire 25 people over a 3-year period and we're going to truly continue to clean up Atlantic City. People want to complain about the streets in Atlantic City. You know, when we put out, our PIOs put out the things that we're doing, and you see some of the comments, people want to always move the goalposts. They say, oh, well, what about this? What about this street here? When I became mayor, the worst street that everyone talked about was New York Avenue. What did the small administration do? Get New York Avenue paved. Then they complained about Pennsylvania Avenue. What did the small administration do? Get Pennsylvania Avenue paved. And these are big, massive projects. People want to complain about Atlantic Avenue. We paved the first half of Atlantic Avenue with the road diet. People saying, oh, well, what about the second half? If it was not for the casinos taking us to court, that would have been done not now, but right now. But it's a process. And starting this spring, the process is going to take place and Atlantic Avenue will be paved. What do people always complain about? The synchronizations of lights on Atlantic Avenue. You go a block, stop. You go 2 blocks, stop. You go 3, all of that. Once everything is done, you see the benefits of it in phase 1. And that is relationships. Because there is no way in the world that we would have been able to obtain $24 million to get that project done. But we did that at no cost to the taxpayers.
Yeah.
No cost. We have $100 million in capital improvement projects at no cost to the taxpayers.
Yeah.
We don't want to go to the real estate market. We don't want to go to the bond market because we don't need to. So that's the position that Atlantic City has been in under 5 years. When you talk about Pacific Avenue, you talk about the synchronization of lights. That's going to start this spring. The citywide camera project that the state of New Jersey gave us $16.8 million to complete, and we used 5 of it to get cameras all around the city for improved public safety. Ladies and gentlemen, that's talking clean and safe. People always complain, just like when it was murders going on. Last year, it showed leadership. We had 5 murders in the first 5 weeks of the year. And I called a meeting. And the paint came off the wall in that room. When it's time to lay the hammer, Mayor Small doesn't hesitate to lay the hammer. And I got all the community stakeholders, police chief and all, in the same room. And we held a press conference. All the Philly media came down and covered it. And I said, this is unacceptable for the taxpayers of the great city of Atlantic City. Something has to happen, and we have to do it now with no finger pointing. From that meeting to the end of the year, Atlantic City had 3 murders. But they don't want to talk about that. They wanted to focus on the first 5. And we have a plan to continue to reduce the violence, save a lot of that for the state of the city. But this is Mayor Small's commitment to each and every taxpayer here in the great city of Atlantic City. Everybody always talk, just like a lot of people said. I didn't say it, they said it. I walk the walk. People always complain about the homeless situation. I'm the only mayor that came up with a plan. My big plan couldn't work, but I definitely took it to the state. I wanted to eradicate homeless here in the great city of Atlantic City, and I wanted to put everything out in Ancor. But for whatever reason, it didn't happen. So what happened then? We started talking about the community service aides. Initially, they were going to be under the police department. But we said that we needed to have people who know the streets, who understand the streets, and that can articulate to these people to get them the wraparound service. And those guys are doing a fantastic job. You see them in red shirts, red sweatshirts, up and down Atlantic Avenue and the Boardwalk. Under a former administration, the health department didn't exist in Atlantic City. Mayor Small brought the health department back under the leadership of Director Jared Barnes. We're doing real meaningful work We're working for the state. They finally gave us a homeless czar to help out with this situation. We are making progress, but guess what? The problem about homelessness existed October 2nd, 2019. That's the day before I became mayor. And I understand that people want to hold me to a higher standard, but we are truly working hard each and every day to help out with this homeless situation here in the city of Atlantic City. We're teaming up with the state. You're going to hear a bunch of new initiatives that's aimed at making the situation better, putting resources and dollars through the CDBG department's big investment. So let's give that a round of applause. When you talk about infrastructure, we paved basically the whole second bridge in Venice Park. We always say that the small administration is paving and behaving, and that's in all 6 wards. These are big projects. We paved Melrose Avenue in the 1st Ward. That was something that we worked with the 1st Ward Civic Association on. And we just finished at the top of the year, New Hampshire Avenue from Parkside to the Boardwalk. But yet and still, people want to talk about the streets. We don't have the money to pave every street in Atlantic City. If we could, we would. But understand, we are well aware of what's going on in our community. We might not get to you right now, but trust me, we're listening, we're on the ground, and we're about the results. When you talk about prior administrations putting Band-Aids on the 1st bridge at Venice Park, on the 2nd bridge at Venice Park, Councilman Marsh, former mayor, he's not lying. We had a conversation. I made a promise and commitment to him that when he left office, I would pick up that ball and make sure. And guess what? At no cost to the taxpayers. Give that a round of applause. So we have a saying that the small administration says what it means what it says. We've accomplished so much. I can be here all night talking about the things that we've done over the last 5 years. We are committed to the small business community as well. We're going to announce at the State of the City that we're going to pump $500,000 into the Economic Development Office under the leadership of Bruce Weeks to start getting minority and small and minority business programs a priority. We're going to continue to educate the community with the credit repair program classes that we have for free, the infrastructure program classes that we have for free, the investment cohort classes that we've had for free, the financial planning classes that are coming for free, the Mayor's Office Small Business Academy for free. These are the things that this administration is doing to empower the people here in the great city of Atlantic City. And listen, we know what this is all about. Our detractors will say that developers don't like us. I'm going to say it again. Our detractors will say that developers don't like us. I remember when I became city council president, some detractors would say, oh, all the businesses are going to fail in Atlantic City. But you heard from the people that matter, the people that this administration works with on a daily basis to get the job done. Because when we develop, my #1 priority is the taxpayers, the ratables come in. You're going to hear at the State of the City, they said that private development would never happen in Atlantic City, that CRDA is out of the building business. But Atlantic City is in. You heard from Pat Fasano, who took his money from Asbury Park to Atlantic City, who can go anywhere. You heard from Bart Blatstein about what it's like to work with us. And I had a meeting today, and I have another meeting at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, face to face with the money people who are going to develop Bader Field. The money is real. All of this is happening under our watch. Not to mention, better news, not to mention, in the first ward, kudos, Sporty, in the first ward, originally K. Hovnanian was supposed to develop 38 to 40 units on a parcel by the old funeral home, which is now demolished. Mayor Small, working with developers and also with my CRETA hat as a board member, we helped and assisted to assemble land for K. Hovnanian to go from 40 to 125. These are private units. Not to mention the little guy, Keith Groff, who started on that block. 8 homes, and now he's about to expand, and all of them sold for over $700,000. So when we talk about big development, this administration is getting it done. And back to K. Hovnanian, and I just found this out this week in my State of the City prep, that in addition to the 125 homes, they're doing another 136 on nearby parcels. That's progress. We all know the Kushner, you know Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law. His father is a big-time developer. During the pandemic, the business administrator and I met with the Kushners. And we talked about a property, understand this, that has been vacant since I first got elected to city council in 2004. We're now in 2025. And because of that push, we're announcing at the State of the City that not only do we have the K-Hive project, but the Kushner project near the old Garwin Mill site is going to have 180 units. 180 units. That's progress. This wasn't happening before Mayor Small. And we talk about family entertainment. I see the owners of the Steel Pier, and Bruce, and the whole crew here. The Steel Pier has been putting on for Atlantic City family entertainment-wise. And the Steel Pier will tell you, as a young councilman, I fought Donald Trump and what they was trying to do to the Steel Pier to make sure that those guys still had the Steel Pier. And they are building not only 1 new roller coasters, but 2 new roller coasters. Thank you. And one of the last things I want to say, we talk about diversifying the economy. We're talking about making Atlantic City more than just a casino town. We talk about family entertainment. The Steel Pier is established. Then came North Beach Mini Golf. But it was Bart Blackstein investment to build Showboat into a family entertainment resort that started the trend. Listen to the story. The largest arcade on the East Coast. The raceway at the Showboat. Small family entertainment, a small roller rink, indoor mini golf, and more. But what did people say here in Atlantic City? That Atlantic City needs a water park, right? They said Atlantic City needed a water park. 3 developers tried. Bart Blackstein got it done. And Bart Blackstein will tell you, large in part, is because of the work that we put in to get that project done. So, Atlantic City has a water park under Mayor Small. Everybody always said that Atlantic City needs a Dave & Buster's. What happened last year? We opened up Dave & Buster's. Atlantic City has Dave & Buster's under Mayor Small. And then people always say that, oh, well, our kids go offshore, we need a roller rink, Showboat, have a small version of it, we need a bowling alley and this. Guess what? At the State of the City address, Atlantic City is now going to have a bowling alley under Mayor Small. So, when people try to talk negatively about the great city of Atlantic City, when people try to say that Atlantic City is going bad and it's the worst that it's ever been, I think not. Men, women, political opportunists not lie, but the numbers and facts don't. The people spoke. And it wasn't the same people, and that was intentional, because people would have said, oh, well, this person spoke, oh, because they go back with Marty Small, or Marty Small asked them to. These are real stories, ladies and gentlemen. We've done a lot. I've been very active with every civic association here. I see a couple of civic association leaders. Thank you for coming out. But we get the job done. Things aren't perfect. We got a lot of work to do. And that's why tonight that I'm formally announcing that I'm seeking your support and your vote for re-election for mayor here in the great city of Atlantic City. So listen, it's not going to be easy. There's a lot of forces against us. But the last time I looked in this church, I see a lot of Atlantic City people. More importantly, I see a lot of voters. More importantly, I see a lot of people who's going to roll up their sleeves to make sure that we get this job done. And to the unions and the building trades, under Mayor Small, you will always be dealt a great hand. We're not going to always agree, but you understand and know where my heart is. And when was the last time, as I close, that the city of Atlantic City itself is in the development business? You see it with the brand new aquarium. Because of our standards, we was going to let that aquarium look bad. You see it with the aquarium. You see it with the Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver courtyard. You see it with Pop Lloyd Stadium. You see it with $6 million in boardwalk improvements by Boardwalk Hall. You're going to see it with $20 million in boardwalk improvement by New Jersey and the boardwalk to Tennessee under this administration and more. Our website will be live next week. It is Marty Small, the number 4, mayor.com. And as the campaign moves forward, we're going to articulate, listen, we know who our opponents are. We're not worrying about anything. We know and trust and believe that the people of Atlantic City believes in us. And a lot of people said they didn't think that I was going to run for re-election. But in the immortal words of Beyonce, you must not know about me, you must not know about me. So, we're here, including all of the things that we're dealing with. That has not stopped. They say, well, what does the people of Atlantic City think? You see it here tonight in this church and many, many, many more people that couldn't be here. We're going to win re-election. We're going to win in a big way. And this administration is what all your hopes and dreams are made of. And on Tuesday, June 10th, we want each and every one of you to know, here come the Reds, dream big, vote small. One more time, can we say great day?